adding a high score, but we forgot that it was something we could add, and therefore didn't actually implement it. We do actually have a score, and that works with the actual arrow keys, so that's nice. Start the game, please. And here you can see the beautiful color selection. Courtesy of myself, it took me an age to bloody figure out how to actually switch the colors between the collectibles and the walls, but eventually it worked. As you can see, you can collect, and those 4 have completely random movements, but they do move. After you have gotten all of the collectibles, you will respawn, and when you respawn, all of the ghosts will move quicker, and you get more points for each time you get a collectible. In addition, you have 3 lives, as you can see, and the round number is actually showed. You cannot go into the walls, and I do not think we have too many bugs last time I checked anyway. Do you remember any? Sure. Okay, well.
Thanks for communication.
Yeah, I don't remember having seen any bugs in the newest version. So that's good. Why are you dying?
I'm showing off that the light counter goes down.
Great.
Game over screen. You can see your score that you actually are on your 0 life, or that you have no life left, and it's covering up the round number, which is nice. But when you're on the game over screen, you have the option to restart the game or just close the game.
We also have a pause menu.
Oh, nice. And you show off the pause menu. It's just if you resume it, you stay where you are on the map. Goes will stay where they are. Like if you saw, there's one pink ghost is in the middle, slightly on the left side. So if you see it, it's still there. Any questions?
The wrapping board.
The
Level wrapping. So
no. There's just a wall, basically.
When you're displaying the score, you're using IMT, right? Did you try any other ways to display, or did you just?
I just went for IMT.
I tried to find some, and I figured out that if I wanted to do it in any other way, we'd have to have even more libraries. At least that's what I figured out. So then I thought, why not just use what we already have, so we don't have even more libraries to install.
Yeah, we also tried to implement sound, but we got into problems probably with CMake not figuring out how to do that.
I think we figured out that we could have done it, but again we forgot to actually do more of it.
Stage 5.
And on the note of forgetting, did you guys use an issue tracker or things like that?
Didn't really have
Ah, for Taylor, we forgot that too.
We just talked about it.
We have a change log.
Let's go.
We just talked about the progress in the group chat.
Yeah, because this is a relatively small project. We're probably actually going to use Trello or something for the larger one we have now, because that's bigger.
Yeah.
But this one was so small that we didn't. We had like one meeting, or didn't even have a meeting.
I think they
It wasn't needed for this to actually have physical meetings, because we were just 3 people and it was a relatively small project. On the bigger one, we're actually going to try to have meetings, because there are actually going to be more stuff to remember to do and such.
Yes, but let me suggest, even in a small project, probably issue checker would have been a good idea already.
Yeah, it's clearly, since we forgot to add a high score, and we could have done it really easily.
That's right. Any other questions? I have.
Yeah, how many levels do you have in total?
We only have one. You restart when you got I did implement it so that it will. It could have loaded a level of any size. The problem was that for some reason I had to multiply the x-axis with 1.808. I don't know why, because it shouldn't have needed to be multiplied by 1.0.8. It makes no sense. The I value is perfectly fine, only the x value, so it has to be of the same general shape. If not, the collisions won't work correctly.
Did you set the viewport, or because you said you have to multiply by 1.8?
Yeah, I had to multiply a value with 1.08 for the
to get it
form.
to display correctly.
Yeah, because instead of just drawing it on set size, I wanted to have it to be the same size as the map, but that did cause that issue.
And the movement of the ghosts, is it completely random or did you add some kind of AI?
It's mostly random, but I added some more randomness to, if for example it came to a cross zone, if it was, for example, or hit the wall, if it was to go backwards, I gave it a 20% chance to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. In addition, we did change the map a bit so that it knows where a crossroad is, so that it knows where to actually randomly select a direction.
That's, you know, pretty good.
Can you load any text file, or do you have like, how do you load the map?
You have nodes, so top of main.
Can I just ask a quick question before that? The scoring, that's using IMGUI, right? Yeah. And you're, to get that effect, you're pushing different styles, because there's no background window on the high scores. Yeah. Right? So you're pushing different styles.
Top of main.
Yeah. So I think after every point you wrap up, else we will not pass.
I did actually make it so that it would delete the current map and be able to load a new one, but they never actually implemented, so it wasn't actually necessary to have the delete functionality.
So it's generic, right? I think that's more sensible for now, right? Because given the number of groups we want to go through, all of them have nice things to show. So we'll revisit you later, hopefully when we manage to wrap up today, but given the time, we will probably maybe challenging, may need to put it into next week.
Yeah, let's see.
Next week. Yeah, thank you much indeed. For being so brave out there and, you know, jumping in the deep end of it.
Right. So we made Trackman, like everyone else. And
oh, by the way, could you also mention your group name? I forgot.
Graphics 101 by Noobs, I think it was.
Okay, and what was your group?
Pac-Man Mason.
Okay.
As you can see in top left, we have lives and score display. There is this bug, since we're centering Pac-Man. When you go up and now down and to the left and hit the block, he kind of like teleports down. We couldn't figure out why, and as you can see, that causes him to kind of jump over that pallet there. So yeah, also you can die. We added invisibility frames because, well, if you touch a ghost and you don't have that, you can lose a lot of life very fast. And we added a second level. It's just a very quick edit on the one we had done before. Yeah. We used IMGUI for the GUI and have different menu here. When you complete a level, you get like, congrats, you completed level 1. And you can resume, restart, stuff like that. That's pretty much the game.
Are the ghosts animated, or is it?
No, they're not animated.
Did you modify the animation for Pac-Man? Because I think there's yeah.
So how did you deal with the 90-degree navigation?
What you
Like, so in the previous group, you saw that there was a bit of a, I mean, you need to navigate it right to get the 90-degree turn, right? So you kind of need, here the operation seems to be reasonably smooth, right?
It's because of the centering. So every time you move, it centers you to the middle of the tile. And it happens, if you try to move into a wall, it will also just center you.
How do you handle the ghost AI? What's it do?
They're just random.
Perfectly every time. Every time it's random in all four directions.
No, if you're in a corridor, it won't let you go up and down into walls. So you only move like direction. But it doesn't work in corners, as you might see.
So you're sort of checking if it crashes at all, you're checking that you're only allowing it to like go either to the left or to the right now. Or is it just that it tries to go like sort of because they kind of stick to corners and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they stick to corners. I can't remember why they did that.
so probably in that point they are trying to go to the wall.
Yeah, but if
If it's completely random.
corridor, they won't do that.
And what about the walls? Did you use any texture?
Yeah, there's texture for it. Any more questions?
Is there a way to get from level 1 to level 2 if you win the first level?
Yeah, you go back to the level.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay, then you move forward.
Yeah.
And there is also kind of collision between the ghosts. They both stop. Oh no, they.
no, that's random.
Ah, okay.
Are you storing the high scores?
No.
Oh yeah, like this point. Oh, so yeah. So the movement is absolutely random.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Do you hold the direction and change walking to corner and you sort of press the button before going to the corner?
So, like, you mean, you can't press it, you have to hold it down and
Right.
then it changes.
Do you have any theories as to why you're skipping one field?
There's probably something wrong with the centering, and in the way it's sequentially sorted.
But it only happens down and to the left.
Do you have a game over screen?
Not really one, just like leave it back to the menu.
It has a separate menu now,
Yeah.
with restart.
Yeah.
I think it was over.
Yeah, it was nice. Thank you.
Nice tires. Who's next?
Waiting for my teammates.
Who was Who was faster? I don't know.
I said I was waiting for my teammates.
Alright, where's your teammate?
I don't know. I sent him a message on Discord and
So
said
let's wait for your teammate. Are you alone?
No, I'm with.
Okay, shall we have him first and you go next, right? So, because no, faster.
Den har speedrun i starten og så
Just
skrur
pick
den
your
av.
teammate on Discord. In worst case, you show it on your own, that's fine as well.
Okay.
Because there's only one laptop involved.
Jeg skal se.
Thank you for explaining the joke, William.
We should probably turn off the sound because it just loops. It's probably going to drive people mad.
Ignore the sound. Appreciate the beautiful menu. It's not really functional. You can just press space to start.
Is that a texture?
It is a texture. It is a strange texture.
You make it yourself.
I did indeed make it in paint. Thank you very much for that. It's also Comic Sans, even though you
I'm mute.
Anyway, here's our game. The ghosts actually do have an AI. They implement A-star to try and chase down Pac-Man. And some of them move faster than others to throw you off, I guess, because otherwise you just get immediately run down and die. As you can see, we oh my god, okay, we can't walk through walls. I'm fairly certain that's fixed.
Yeah, that's that.
Is Pac-Man animated? Because it's kind of hard to see.
Pac-Man is animated, actually. He's just very small, and the white background doesn't make it easy on the eyes, I suppose.
Yeah. If you're very close, it's easy to see, but
yeah. Also ignore the scrolling text and see the background. That's debug. Don't worry about it. But you just there we go.
well, it's just printing the pass, I think.
Yeah, it's just
from the start.
Yeah, it's working.
Do you like the high score?
We have a points, but we're not displaying it.
We have points, you just don't know how many points.
You have to like see out the score in order to see it.
Because I tried rendering the text using like writing a font shader and flag shader, and that was a bit difficult. And then I gave up and thought about doing IMGUI, but it was a bit too late. So it was like 4 in the morning or something. But each one of those orbs gives you like 10 points. And the map loading is really generic, so if you change anything in the file and you load it again, it's it's very like, we have a lot of classes. Also, so orbs is a class.
I'm ever so slightly
yeah. And if you die in the game, you die in real life, so you just crash the desktop.
Does it crash or does it exit?
It does exit. It exits gracefully.
Big difference.
It is a big difference.
You know what?
Oh, nice, okay.
There we go.
Back to this.
Yeah.
Can you exit?
No, but you can pause. I forgot to show that off. You can actually just press space to pause the game and have a look and appreciate the textures, or if you really want to.
And look at the debug, which is why we implemented pausing actually.
I see that you don't have the wall block at the portal at the wrapping doesn't work.
No, you just walk off screen.
You
can come back though. You can come back. Thank you for pointing that out. We didn't notice that one.
Functional testing, yes.
So when you grab a bounds, do you then read outside your array bounds?
I have no idea.
Really? I don't know.
I mean, if you're looking for tile -1.
I mean, the ghosts stop following you.
So I think that just makes sense. Like,
I'm fairly certain you just win the game at that.
I think if it's not within bounds, it just returns like an IVEC2, which is just -1/-1, and the ghost just no stop.
Can you explain the AI? How do they chase Pac-Man?
Yeah, so on Wikipedia there's a pseudocode for A-star, and that's essentially exactly what we did. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the hard part was constructing the graph. That took quite a bit of debugging methods.
And it does work, the graph construction does work with the level loading. So you can change the text file and the graph will work.
Yep.
Nice.
Did anyone look up the actual AI for the ghosts for Pac-Man, the original one? Yeah, did you implement it?
I looked at it and I just gave up.
No, it was quite differentiated, right? So they also behave slightly differently, right?
Isn't it like almost all of them move randomly and
Oh,
one of them is
exactly.
also
That's,
trivial?
yeah. But there's also a bit of different chasing behavior.
Yeah,
Just
it's
chasing
ambush.
random.
Yeah, and it depends, and one of the ghosts depends its behavior on where one of the other ghosts are.
Exactly. So it's actually quite complex in dependency, but since it's not an AI course yet, it's just interesting. Cool. Next one, I think. So otherwise we really run out of time. But I think you guys did a good job. And very ambitious with your menu, so that's really.
Thank you very much.
You have all the sound effects, by the way, except for the menu.
Oh yeah, sound effects. That's good.
I mean, that same sound effect loops through the entire game, so it never stops.
Yeah, there's no other sounds than that.
We tried, but no.
Okay.
Get it.
We're just driving you insane by repeating the same sound over and over again. slowly killing your brain cells.
So just to queue up, who wants to be after those guys? Ja, Nico?
Nu följde din textur längst ner. Men det är en som var kommit ut.
Ja. Men...
Vad är det bra?
Memorable. Memorable. Så ser jag här
Prepare to have your mind blown.
What's your group name?
Null points, I think.
Null points.
That, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like you can resize the window and it works. So, yes, all right. So this is our menu. Super retro, right? Do you want to play? Oh yeah, you can play your exit.
Do you actually have like vertical lines?
Yes.
Next question, are you doing this in the shader?
Yes. So it's a post-processing pipeline.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. Yeah. I'm doing something. Yeah. So this is the game. Yeah, you can play it. Ta-da! So yeah, we've got the score. The ghosts random walk around, but if they're in the line of sight, then they'll go towards you. So if you like go near a ghost, see he'll start going towards you. Otherwise, they just kind of walk around randomly. If you walk off the edge of the world,
That's the kind of unstable edge in my
That was bad. Anyway, who died?
oh, you don't.
Okay. Yeah, the Superman actually, the game first, you couldn't see it.
You can see it. Well, he died. You can walk off the edge of the side of the world and you'll come back on the other side. The ghost will do that too. Death screen. We got a new high score, 69. Nice.
Nice. That resets the score.
Reset the score. If you want to play again, we've got like pause menu if you escape. Escape. Pause. You can resume. Resume. Easy. There are 2 levels at the moment. You get to the second one by finishing the first one by collecting all the coins.
I don't think that's going to be.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to demonstrate that here. But they're loaded from 2 different files.
So what's the difference between the first and second levels? Is it more difficult?
The one I quickly made up where it's just a bunch of like concentric squares with connections. It's really difficult. Like the ghost will kill you instantly.
Okay.
So everything's textured. The walls use this like, we split each of the wall cells into 4 so we can do like these intersections. There are multiple levels. Yeah, so the AI pathfinding, there's actually, if you want to go to the thing, do the thing.
Yeah, we have to exit.
Yeah, you can exit. So uncomment that. Yeah, watch this. Watch this. Now, if you hit play. So the pathfinding uses Jarkstra's algorithm to build basically a map of directions towards the player with a line of sight. So if a ghost goes where one of these arrows is, it will just follow the arrow. And if you close this again and find the other thing, you need to back the map and put that thing in. Yeah. Now, it's exciting, isn't it? Now, the ghost can find you from anywhere, and you will die very quickly. Because, yeah, so as opposed to like A-Star, where each of the ghosts has to walk towards the player, we only need to do the walk once away from the player, and then each of the ghosts can just use that data. Makes sense. So that's, I mean, the game. Code structure-wise, I don't know, we have like this thing called a draw list, which each of the parts of the code kind of push in rectangles, and they say, I want to render a rectangle here, 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 and we put that into a big buffer, and then at the end of the frame, we put the buffer into OpenGL and actually render it, which is actually really similar to what ImGUI does inside, and it works really nicely. We do post-processing effects, which is basically you render your scene to a texture, and then you run a shader on that entire thing, and render that into a texture, and another shader on that, and render that into a texture, etc. So I think there's like 4 shaders doing post-processing, where we do like vertical lines, then a blur, and then a chromatic aberration pass, and then make it wrap into like a screen shade. which is here. So we just build a list of shaders, and then it runs through each of these shaders in the pass. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Any questions?
You mentioned you do each tile is 1 out of 4, so it's either a corner or I mean it's all 4
Yeah,
corners.
yeah, the 4 corners, yeah.
Yeah. So then you will be able to draw anything in your ASCII map file, and it will be only the borders that are drawn.
What do you mean?
So if you draw a rectangle,
yeah,
that is like 5 by 5.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It will only be the borders.
It'll only be the borders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's got a file which is. Oh yeah. Yeah. Looks super weird.
It's green for some reason.
It's green.
Also your menus are all your text. Oh yeah. Oh cool.
Yeah. So it just uses like there's a yeah. So it picks one of the quarters from each of these.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Your menu, is that textures or are you
This
text?
is another file which is text. And
Nice.
Yeah. Ordered from.
Yeah. Cool.
And then numbers is like each of the numbers in a grid. Digits.
Yeah, that's the same way we do text.
Yeah.
Yeah, the digits do actually, we do have a function that if you call it, use specific number as argument that it constructs it. Digits.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Next.
So I will do as the other group and only have audio enabled in the first like 30 seconds to not be obnoxious about it.
And your group name was?
Define behavior. Okay, let's run the game first and just start with that. Sorry, let's build the game first. That was my mistake. We can talk about it. Yeah, sorry about the unbuilt game there. There we go. So yeah, there's the main menu. We can start the game. You can look at the high scores, you can get some help or look at the credits, or you can exit the game. So before you play, you just look at the help and you see the controls, you can get the special rules that are implemented. And you see the score for each game object. You can food is 10, ghost killers are 50, killing a ghost is 200, but then multiplied for each ghost that you kill. And eating a fruit is 500, multiplied by each ghost you killed on your current ghost killing effect. So basically, those are the scores taken from the Pac-Man dossier. So I read up on what the original scores are. And the default high scores are just the ghost, Blinky, Blinking, and Clyde, with various scores. And when you start, you have a 3-second timer before you get to play. And then you get to move around. And if you get this, you can kill the ghost and they get scared. And they become ice if you kill them. And then I can eat fruit afterwards, but I was too late. So yeah, you can move around, you can change directions 180 to move around, to change if you need to like do that. Or you can get killed. And you have your lives in the bottom left corner. Oh, shit. And yeah, so taking the ghost killer is usually a good idea here. And every time you eat a fruit, the ghost becomes slightly faster. So while you get a lot of points from them, you will have a harder time with the ghosts. And the ghosts use A star by default, but when they're scared, they just look at the corridor right ahead of them and will try to choose the direction that leads the furthest away from Pac-Man. So they're really hard to catch unless you plan on catching them. And they will catch you because they're faster than you, by default as well. But as in the original game, cutting corners gives you a speed boost because that's a technique in the original game to like cut corners a lot, because then you can get away from the ghost, or moving away from the ghosts let you, gain a speed advantage and move away from them. And when you win, you can enter your high score. I did not win. And if you submit the high score, you will find it here, but you did win, so that's fine, I guess. At least you got the high score. Yeah, so the ghosts have 3 AI states. They are either chasing you, scattering, or scared. So while they are scattering, they just go back to their home squares, which is the top, where they start, that's where their home squares are. They are by default chasing you, but in the original game they move between chasing and scattering about every 20 seconds. So if you manage to survive the first, let's see, if I manage to survive the first 10 seconds, the ghosts will change directions and start going home. So they should soon start going home. And maybe they usually go. Well, they're supposed to be chasing and scattering. So yeah, that's that. And when they're scared, they will, as I mentioned before, try to get as far away from you as possible. I was going to highlight some rendering stuff because this entire game is drawn with this one draw call, GL draw instance rendering. So every quad is just instanced all over the field, and that's just the one call, basically. So since this game is just 2D and has just sprites, everything is just a square or like a quad anyway. So it's just all we have to do is pass in what texture to use, its position and its size. So calling draw on the renderer actually just pushes back the draw data into a vector, and then when you submit the work and push it to OpenGL, it just copies the data from that buffer of instance vertices and just copies it into a buffer that's mapped, memory mapped with OpenGL. So you can I just copy the data in and flush the buffer, and the buffer is persistently mapped. So I map it once in the constructor of the renderer, and then it just stays mapped from the entire game. I'll map it at the end, because I did some profiling and found that remapping the buffer every frame cost about 25% of the frame time. So after I dropped that, I got like a 1400 frames per second increase. So yeah, that's the cool thing about rendering here. Other than that, yeah, the ghosts have 3 states, and sound is very easy to play. Yeah, you just say, you get the sound manager and you say what sound you want to play. And that the sound names come from all the wave files in here are automatically loaded by the sound manager at the start of the game, so it just like scans for wave files in the resource folder and just loads it. That's about that. So yeah, I think that's the
does
core.
your ranking work, to the outside of the map?
Yes.
Do the tracking or the pathfinding work through the forum?
Yes, sort of. But the ghosts don't follow you through because they're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
So if I try to get there before the other ghosts, which I won't, so I'm going to get this one first. The ghosts will just start pathfinding towards this new direction, new position instead. So now they're going here, but now they're going there.
Yeah.
And now they're going the other way, and then they're going here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's the pause menu. Yeah. So you can unpause, or you can quit.
Are you using AmGUI for all your...
Yeah, all of this is in GUI.
Yeah, even the text in game?
Yes.
Okay.
But not this. This is a texture.
Yeah.
And this is a texture, and this is a texture. But the score is in GUI. like the dynamically changing stuff.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a texture. So. Cool. Everything else, that's the texture.
Yeah.
Or just the overlay. And that's the overlay in the game. That's just what we talked about. Yes.
Who's next?
Versus.
Ah, you versus.
Three fire emojis.
Yeah, me.
My computer usually fights a lot with the HDMI cables on the school.
I mean, I feel like that fits with the theme of the project, because this is going to be a real short presentation, because we didn't get very far. So we started this a bit late, because we had other coursework, so we started about a week ago, and I figure, okay, I'm not too experienced in OpenGL, let's get a good start here, let's start with something that's worked. Let's use one of the labs as kind of like a jumping off point to kind of have some shaders and stuff. That was a mistake. Because now, you know, we have shader code we don't know what does. We have some classes it uses that we don't know what do. So on day 2 of what ended up being like a 5-day development span, I start trying to load the level. Okay, spend some time messing with the file. That loads just fine. And then I start trying to render the thing. And you know, I work on it. I fix some linker errors. I get some OpenGL errors and I fix them. And I don't manage to finish it by that day. Day 2 of this, I start doing this again. We get some more errors, different errors this time. We spend another day debugging that. And meanwhile, he makes working code. You know, he gets animations working. Good shit. Day 3 comes around. More linker errors, more OpenGL errors. This is what we have here, and you can move Pac-Man. He works great.
Yeah, like I managed to animate Pac-Man and Pinky in background.
Yeah.
Like I'm also implemented pausing. There's no pause menu, so just assume that this thing here, right here, would show up. Yeah.
But yeah, basically I spent like 4 days trying to get the fucking level loading working, unsuccessfully. The theme of this project is he submit codes that works, I submit code that doesn't, and go like, I'll fix this later.
Yeah. Can I give you just a little bit of criticism right here?
Sure.
Yeah, so yesterday morning, I got to school, and I had to deal with a rather large merge conflict.
Oh, right. Did I actually push it to the main branch? Because so I spent the last day, because we had some issues with classes, right? So I refactor everything to go like, okay, maybe there's some issue with the code. And I make a very nice kind of objective class inheritance thing. It looks great, yeah, it's great to read. It doesn't work, but it's lovely to look at. And the thought was to push it to a branch. Did I instead push it to main?
No, but I was like looking at the it was like, okay, there's some stuff I can use here, and then just I went into it and didn't see ahead that it would take me 3 hours.
So this is obviously, you know, a complete train wreck in terms of actually doing the assignment, but it was actually a really good learning experience. Mainly what I learned, it's don't fucking use shaders you don't know what to do, because it just leads to this. Because most of the last day was getting weird errors with like OpenGL returning errors. Incidentally, I'm very annoyed at the way OpenGL handles errors, but that's like a separate rant.
Quick question on that. Do you use the GFX GL call that checks errors for you?
Eventually, yes.
A lot of
yes, I'm just calling it after every call to find the error. But the problem was that the error wasn't terribly helpful. It was like invalid input or something, which I think means that me, like an idiot, assumed something about shaders without really knowing how they work. And the lab 4 shaders expect something that I wasn't giving them, basically. I think I commented it out, but maybe you can put it back in, just printing the level, because the level loads correctly, the layout, like dynamically.
I also just need to know that you can put in inputs during pause screen, and it will not affect animations or Pac-Man. That was an error I had for a short amount of time, where when the game is paused, like the animations will still queue up, and then just play rapidly once the game starts again. That's not happening anymore.
So yeah, in the code there's like 2 branches at the moment. One of them is me trying to make a more object-oriented thing. I haven't actually gone and re-implemented the shaders, because like on the last day after getting some sleep, after being up for fucking 14 hours trying to fix these bugs, I went, okay, let's go and look at the shaders and kind of try and figure out the problem. Because I think if I actually made the shader properly, it would work a lot better. Yes, I did try and make a new shader. That didn't work either for different reasons. I'm not sure what's happening there. Can you turn on the level loading just to show it? This is going to be some real exciting shit, folks. We're going to see a text file being loaded into memory. This is some hot shit.
Where do you put that?
I just see out like going to for loop.
Cool.
Yeah, level display. Just uncomment level display and it should work. No. So, you know, to all of the groups in the room, rest easy, you're not the worst outcome of this assignment, so that's good. I feel like that's just a good thing to close on, to be honest. Like that's just, that link array right there, that is the theme of this assignment. And motherfucker there. But yeah, it does load the level properly. But I can't really show that. So.
Yeah. I also made some progress into making Pac-Man like scale to the level stuff, but I didn't.
You can resize the window here and Pac-Man will you like change size. If you come that again. I'm pretty sure if you resize the window, Pac-Man resizes it properly because of the way we've like scaled them there.
Can we resize the window? I'm gonna check that.
Maybe we can't. It's possible we can't. It seems we can. Cool. Never mind.
There you go.
But they're like, you know, the tile size is dynamically based on window size and shit. So I haven't tested this, but I think if you change the window size, he would scale properly with that. It's not like hardcode or anything.
Maybe it's manually force the window size differently. Or how are you doing on time, exactly?
Well, yeah, I think you're more.
I mean, I think you've gotten the idea. And if you guys want to mess with it, just as kind of like, you know, what's that show called? Like Plane Crash Investigators or whatever. Then that could be fun, I guess. But, yeah.
So, questions to you. I mean, you know, that's, I assume you learned something from that, right?
Yes.
So, more of a estimate-wise, if you were to finish the assignment, how long do you think you would take you right now?
So I'd say that like with another, well basically if I'd started it when the assignment started, I think I could have gotten it done. So another like four days or so. And that's like a generous estimate. If I can fix the shaders, then the rest of it I can actually do in like 2 days.
Yeah, like my biggest problem with this project was just learning what OpenGL is supposed to be like.
Another interesting takeaway from this is, like so far on all of the group assignments I've done so far in this course of study, I think, it's pretty much been like, okay, I'll do this bit, you do that bit. But I figured out that like, it's not really a great way to work because it means that you pull and now there's like, you know, 1,000 lines of code that you don't understand and you need to learn. So that's the thing I'm going to be trying with the next assignment, is just pair programming the whole thing so you know what's going on.
Yep, very sensible.
So that's the takeaway. Yeah.
Exactly. So you're not giving up on the course. That's good.
No.
So, okay.
Definitely not.
Mostly because I'd like to get good at this just to spite OpenGL for being annoying to work with, to be honest.
That's right.
Just add that when we did our 3D Pac-Man, because that was the first OpenGL assignment we did when we had the graphics. Yeah, so we also had a lot of the same frustrations, and it's not like it's a hurdle to get over. Because we also, I think we spent like the first 5 days or something. After the 5th day, I think we went like, okay, finally we're sort of able to get a cube on screen, like always, and to sort of semi-figure out what's going on. That's sort of just how it turns out. And we, so we essentially just sort of didn't really learn that much from the labs, and then just pair programmed the entire the entire OpenGL assignment when we had that. And that's when we sort of learned the most.
Yeah, we also went through each other, like, I worked with one other person, we also went through each other's codes almost always when we were doing something.
It was just like, because the most, part of the reason why we factored is because we didn't spend much time on planning, we just kind of started programming. And the result of that is a spec that's very hard to read, kind of hard to work with if you don't know what's going on. which happens if you didn't write the code and someone else did. And it also, I found, happens if you write your own code and come back after 3 days of like being in the guts of, you know, trying to load vertices. And seeing your own code and being like, the fuck is going on? So that's, yeah, a learning experience is what I'll chalk this assignment up to.
I hope you also picked up on the important experience of not refactoring until you've actually fixed what's working. Because the problem then is that also you're adding sort of abstractions, but if it's not working, then that might also mean that you haven't necessarily fundamentally understood the problem. And creating abstractions without sort of having a fundamental understanding doesn't necessarily mean that those abstractions end up sort of correct either.
The error I'm getting, I don't know if you actually have the like other branch lobby at all.
No. It's not currently low, like the master and your branch is currently around the same anyway.
I think, I mean, that's one very interesting to look at. It's like some invalid input errors to the VAO, which I'd be happy to get some help with eventually. But
carry that offline later when we look at code individually. But I think it gives us a good overview. And if you had the chance to put all your marking weight on the presentation, you probably would get away with it. So
I was thinking best presentation.
That's right. You get a best presentation award.
I mean, I feel like, you know, if you're gonna completely underperform, at least you should know why you underperform. So you won't do it again.
That's exactly right. That's what it's about, and that's what the first assignment is about, particularly, right? To get settled on some of the ideas and hopefully take something away from the next one.
Working with CMake was actually quite nice. It was something to get it working with, but like the group that actually finished, if I recall correctly, one of your group members just couldn't work because the project didn't work, right? But I mean, you just couldn't.
Well, I just basically stole Lean and Victor's computer to work on, so...
Yeah. Which ended up working out because then they understand the code, but we could like work completely separately with CMake, so that was nice.
Yeah, like I want to take away that I did learn much better how to operate CMake, and that's probably the most.
What about debugging? Did you like use tools and find them helpful?
Yeah, mostly just like breakpoints and basic stuff.
Did you use render docs also?
I tried to use render docs, but since it wasn't rendering much, there wasn't much help in render docs.
I used render doc for when I was first figuring out how to scale or like position to an actual level of space on the screen. Like I used render doc a couple of times there, and I know now what's wrong with my code. I just haven't implemented it yet, but I know exactly what's wrong now.
Alright. Well, I think we can pretty much stop hogging the space here and let another group up. So,
well, thank you. By no means a boring presentation. So That's right. That's the intended way. I don't need to get drunk. No harm. As long as you're on board, that's the main thing.
There should be an Ethernet cable in the little square down in the bus.
It used to be one here.
Mine flush. Is the cable long enough or is it too short?
No, the cable is fine. It's just
chilling codecs.
Den måtte finish en test som har mistakes. Altså, flottdiskast nå. Liksom, hvis du får
So who's missing still? That's it, right?
We have 9 groups, I think.
Right. So if we have time, then we can go actually check the ones that we have.
Anyone else who hasn't presented? I think everybody will
Ja, så hvis ikke jeg vet ikke
Liker også at du får sånn kniven med Starfinder-kål. Det er sånn jeg skal få det høyt på det også. Men I accepted. True. Og så får du faktisk spille Starfinder. Ja, i stedet for Pathfinder. Så du har ingen vits å kjøpe Mindre Starfinder bare random bruker akkurat det samme reglene. Ja, neste semester spiller Starfinder. Neste semester? Etter Shadow. Etter Shadow. Fair, men jeg skal ikke være det igjen. Da har jeg sannsynligvis bare 3 fag, så da går det bra. Neste semester, ja. Men jeg kunne det litt her også, siden vi skal droppe ut av graffer og Laos. Pluss at du jobber som i det neste semester så har jeg kanskje ikke 4 sessions per uke heller lenger, så det er bare noe du kan se på. Sayonara.
laste inn Cuba, altså for hver
Yeah, you need to get the greater energy right, but on the other hand, since you're working alone, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So very, very structured, very nice. Cool. Ready? Okay. Hey guys, let's bring it back. There's one more group, I believe, right? That's the last group, right? From a presentation point of view. It is for the ones that have dared to show up. Anyway, Frost.
Thank you. So we also started really late, so it's not completely finished, but we have like the main components except the ghosts. We forgot to add that. But yeah. So start on the main menu. You can just start. I have a high score, but it just shows the previous score from the previous game. It doesn't keep like the highest score actually, so it just score. So yeah, that's good. so you can just move around. I didn't really think about that. Like all the groups had like smooth movements. We just have like it moves one tile at a time. So yeah, if we had like we started a bit earlier, I guess we'd probably add that as well. But first we'll add ghosts, and also like yeah, as you can see, you can change direction even though it's like impossible to move. So preferably I'd like to have like movement so that you can only change directions when you're at like a point where there are multiple places to go, because that's like how it is in the game. Yeah. What should we like talk about?
And what happens when you collect all the points?
It should say. I think you just take it back to the main menu. Actually, if you we have a pause bar here.
Win.
Yeah, you can just
win.
Yeah, it's just you can add to the debug. I just had it like I didn't want to move around and collect all the items every time, so I just had a button for debugging purposes. So, yeah, and it just takes you back and shows you how many points you got, and you can start again. Yeah. Oh, okay, that didn't happen in debugging mode. That's strange. Okay. Any questions?
So we have the map in the array back there.
That was before we started made a level loader.
Oh, so the level loader works.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is
just what we used before we made the level loader, so it's not in use.
Yeah.
I just forgot to remove it.
Because we started really late. We just focused on getting things to work rather than making the code clean. So there are a lot of things that could be have made way like more cleaner, I guess. I guess if you want to get the project to the level well, at least satisfaction for me, I'd like 1 day to implement the ghost and movement, and 1 day for cleaning code. Or maybe 2 days cleaning code. It's really messy. So yeah.
Do you have any issues with the multi-platform because you were using Mac, right?
Yeah, so we spent the first hours just trying, because we didn't start working together at the beginning, but we just, when we started working together, they couldn't get Pac-Man to render, and they still can't do that, so we'll ask for help if that's okay later. Yeah, how is the reason?
This is my version, or the same, but the Pac-Man wasn't render, so he's invisible.
Yeah.
Where is he?
It gets harder after a while as well because you can't see where the dot is going.
That's true. So I think we spent an unnecessary amount of time trying to get that to work instead of actually implementing more code. So that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah. Thank you.
But it's fundamentally cross-platform, right? So you can in principle run on Mac, right? Or
yeah,
I think so.
The same.
I'll get the same as this when I run on Mac.
Okay, cool.
We'll just compile it.
Yeah. It's more like the interest. Okay, we were thinking about it because Mac being in a special situation, can does it work? That's cool. Okay. Questions? No? Cool. Well, and thank you very much. I guess. Hey, I would say we spread out a bit, right? So because given the limited amount of time. Yours is always off, right? It's about 1 hour off, that's about right. So, yeah, just pick random groups. So you start with those guys.
So I will do assess this.